apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen.
Amen.
So this weather, man, this weather's been great, hasn't it? It's just these beautiful, beautiful days. And especially this past week. And Monday is our day off. It's when we take a day off. And I was so excited about Monday. I was like, God, a day off. And it's these blue skies, and I'll get to be outside, and I'll do just whatever I want to do. No demands. God, I was so happy. I was so happy in my mind I had the whole day planned. You ever do that? Just have the whole day planned out. And it was going to be great. And then we're driving in the car, and Cindy says, don't forget you have to take Miles to the dentist on Monday. And I thought, well, of course I don't forget. I knew I have to take him to the, I remembered that. Of course I wouldn't forget. That's what I said on the outside. On the inside, I was going, no! No! Oh, I had the whole day planned. And I have to pick him up at 10:30 now. And now he's got to get his 6 of his teeth have to get that sealant stuff. So she said, plan on being there for a while. Oh, right in the middle of the day. I was just so disappointed, and I'm just kind of wah. In my mind, the day was done. It was ruined. Poor me. Then I started thinking about the gospel for today, because if I'm going to preach, or even not, I try to read it at least a week ahead, so that I can carry it with me through the week, pray about it, do things like that. So Monday, I'd already read, and this gospel came to my mind, and what I got from the gospel was this: I want to be the one who returns. See, I want to be the one who returns. I want to be the one who lives a life from gratefulness. I want to be the one who returns, right? Because 10 people are healed, 9 don't return, 1 does. I want to be the one that does. Live out of gratefulness. And I wasn't doing that as I pondered sitting in the dentist's office all morning long. So I went to, okay, well, let's look on the bright side. Let's look at the positive. At least my kids have a dentist they can go to. That's a great thing. And at least we are able to pay the dentist, and at least, and on and on and on. So I was getting more toward the one who returns, but not exactly there. And then the last thing was, and I have a bunch of books that I want to read, and this will give me some uninterrupted time where there's nothing else to do. So that was the kicker. That was like, all right, so I'll get to read. So I go get Miles from school. We check him out. We go down, and he basically goes right back to the back. And I'm sitting out front reading. And I'm reading this, very important, powerful book. And and the Smurfs are on TV. So here I am reading, and you hear dun 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 dun. I was thinking, oh my God, if I had a bat, I would have smashed the TV. I cannot believe this is happening right. I cannot believe, So I try to just block it out. And I'm reading the same line over and over. So I'm reading the same line, and then the Smurfs, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I can't believe this. Of all the luck, I'm just, wah. And then I remember, I want to be the one who returns. I want to be the one who lives my life from a place of gratefulness. Not wah. So I go outside. It was starting to be really pretty outside, and I go out there. And I start using a tactic that I've heard people use, and it's it could be worse. You know that, Ron? You ever use that tactic? It could be worse. So I start thinking, well, at least I don't work in a coal mine. Yeah. Right? So it could be worse. And then I start thinking of, that made me think of this article I just read about the Congo. And I thought, at least I don't live in the Congo. Man, they got it tough there. And then that started me thinking about closer to home, and I started thinking about the government shutdown. And then I started thinking about even closer to home, and the people who I know and love who are struggling right now, who are in pain or struggling. And then I started thinking, God, I have no right to be grateful. I mean, with all the pain and suffering in the world, how can I be grateful? How could I possibly be? So I go back inside because I still want to be the one who returns. I still want to be that person. So I go back inside and I start trying to read again. And as I start reading, I'm doing pretty good blocking out the Smurfs. And then all of a sudden this commotion starts. And I look as the people are starting to come in this glass doorway, and it's a nurse and a mom, and the nurse is pushing this wheelchair. And it's one of those lie-down wheelchairs, you know, where the back is up and it's cushioned and you lay down. And in the wheelchair is a little girl, pre-adolescent girl, and she's about 2.5 feet tall. And her legs are only partially formed. And she's got her arms, and she can't bend them. They're both just crooked like this. And I'm looking at her, and and part of me is thinking, oh God, this poor girl. But she would have none of that, because she was full of life. She was full of life. She was glad to be at the dentist's office. She was happy about the whole thing. And she's talking, and then she got in, and they got her in, and I'm now kind of pretending like I'm reading, and she starts going, hey, and she's got a southern accent, so it's like, hey, and I'm listening to her, and I look up, and she's looking right at me, and she goes, hey, and I go, hey, and she starts saying something, she starts saying some words, and I can't make out what she's saying, so I look at her nurse, and her nurse goes, she wants you to come over and give her a hug. Yeah. She wants you to come over and give her a hug. And so I did. And I thought right then and there, if I can't be grateful sitting in the dentist office waiting with the Smurfs on TV, trying to read, with a crippled little girl so full of life, it was amazing. If I can't be grateful right there, then I probably can't be truly grateful anywhere. See, then I really won't be the one who returns. Because what I think is the best I'll get if I can't be grateful right there, right where I am, right at that moment, the best I'll get is that I'll only be grateful when all the circumstances are perfect. I'll be one of those people who everything's bad all the time unless everything's perfect. I'll be one of those people for whom the world is never just perfect enough for me to give thanks, for me to be grateful. There will always be some circumstance that isn't just right. If I can't be grateful at that moment, the best I'm going to get, I think, is an unending quest for circumstantial happiness. So if everything fits exactly the way I think it's supposed to fit, then maybe I'll eke out a little bit of thankfulness. And I do not want to live my life like that. You see, because the truth is what we already know. The truth is, gratitude doesn't have anything to do with perfect circumstances. Gratitude is a state of being. Gratitude is a state of being. Now, I know if you're in a place of deep, deep pain and struggle, I know it's hard to think that. That's why it's so important when we're not in those places of deep, deep pain and struggle to really give thanks. Because gratitude doesn't just happen. It's a choice. It's a choice that we can participate in and make every moment of every day. Because gratitude is a state, it's a condition of being. It's a condition of being. Have you heard of the girl, and I want to make sure I get her name right, Malala, and how do you say her last name? Malala, remember her name? Yusuf, I can't say her last name, but it's Malala. She's a little girl that the Taliban shot when she was 14 years old because she stood up for women's education, girls getting education. She's the youngest person to ever be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. And she's 16 years old now. And they did an interview on The Daily Show, on Jon Stewart's show, and Jon Stewart interviewed her. And he said to her, when did you first know that you were going to be a target for the Taliban? And she talked a little bit about that, and she said, but the truth is, once I realized I was going to be a target, I worried more about my dad. Because, he's an adult, and we thought there's no way that they're so cruel that they would attack a child. Well, she said, but when I found out that they were targeting my family, I started really having kind of nightmares and thinking about what will I do when the Talib come? What will I do if they come? And she said, well, if they come, she said, Malala, you can take a shoe and you can hit them with your shoe. I thought that was so funny, it's so cute. I'll hit her with my shoe. But then she said, no, Malala, if you hit them with your shoe, then you will be just like them. You will be the same kind of person that they are. She said, we must stand up and fight against them. She said, but our fight has to be with peace and with dialogue and with education. And she said, so if the Talib come to me and want to talk or do whatever they're going to do, she said, I'm going to say to them, education is important. I want education for everybody. My hope is to have education for your children, for all of us. And then she said, and now you'll have to just go on and do what you're going to do. You see, Malala is a person who returns. And I want to be like that. What about you? Amen.